Well, hello again to all of my deliciously sinister loves and fans of the macabre. Welcome back to Musey's Modern Dreadfuls and Tales of Terror. And today we are going to enjoy a story from a good friend of the channel, BlairDaniels. And away we go. My new house has some really strange homeowner association rules. This house has an HOA, I stuttered. The real estate agent nodded. No! I'd heard horror stories. Fines for walking your dog, fines for the wrong color curtains, fines for obscenely shaped stains in your driveway. A homeowners association was just about the worst thing a house could have. Do you have a copy of the HOA agreement? The real estate agent avoided eye contact. How do you like the house? She asked, trying to change the subject. I'd like to read the HOA agreement, please. After reading through some drawers, she pulled out a thick stack of papers. Here you go. With a heavy heart, I began to read. Pelican Peak Homeowners Association Rules. 1. Your garage must be kept closed at all times unless you are currently entering or exiting the house. 2. The community has a strict curfew of 10 p.m. You may not make any noise between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. and you must also keep all the curtains closed during this time. 3. Food scraps cannot be mixed with regular trash. We have a compost bin. Discard food scraps in the red plastic bin provided to you and leave it on the curb on evenings shortly before curfew. We will pick it up and bring it to the compost bin. Do not attempt to bring it to the compost bin yourself. 4. You must always wear neutral-colored clothing when exiting or entering your home and when walking around the development. That's where I raised an eyebrow. What? Neutral-colored clothing? I looked down at my outfit. Aqua blue jeans and a hot pink fluttery top. What is this? Some kind of dystopian nightmare? Making us conform to all look the same in these cookie-cutter townhouses? So I wouldn't be allowed to wear this outfit? I asked the real estate agent. She hemmed and hawed. Well, probably not. But, you can just get one of those long duster cardigans or a jacket in a neutral color and wear it when you go out. It's not a super strict rule. You can have some colors showing. I get not a super strict rule, I repeated, pointedly nodding in her direction. I see. I continued to read. 5. Never knock on a neighbor's door unannounced. Similarly, never answer the door if you aren't expecting anyone. As a community, Pelican Peak values privacy and safety above all else. 6. When walking your dog, keep him or her away from the cul-de-sac on Petunia Lane. The compost bin is back there, and sometimes animals get triggered by the smell. 7. Never leave children that weigh under 50 pounds playing unattended outside. 8. The homeowner's dues are $150 per month, due on the first weekday of every month. I stared at the sheet. This is pretty restrictive. But look at what you're getting for the price, she said. Granite countertops and mahogany cabinets, stainless steel appliances, a rain shower in the master bathroom, all for under $200,000. I did love rain showers. I made an offer the next week. Several weeks later, I was moving in, along with several new black cardigans and jackets. My corgi, Buff, seemed to like the place well enough. She liked watching the squirrels run by, something she couldn't do from the window of my old 11th floor apartment. That first night, I followed the rules to a T. At 9:47 p.m., I put my food scraps out: chicken bones, kale stems, and an apple core. At 9:58 p.m., I locked all the doors, drew the curtains, turned down the radio, and settled into bed. I wasn't hoping to go to sleep, of course. It was time for my 3-hour Seinfeld marathon before bed. Around 10:15 p.m., Buff started growling. Ugh, I groaned. I paused the episode and walked into the second bedroom. Buff! Shh! I hissed, remembering the association rule. She didn't even turn around. She just sat at the front window, her head poking around the curtain, hackles raised, staring out into the darkness, growling like mad. Buff? My fingers fell on the curtain's edge, but then I stopped. Keep curtains closed after 10 p.m. That was the rule. But does that mean I'm not even allowed to take a peek? And beside, what if it's some crazy guy sitting on my porch or something? Or a rabid squirrel? I pulled back the curtain. At first, I just saw darkness. Amorphous blobs of townhouses stuck to each other, speckled with blocks of hazy golden light. Everyone had their curtains drawn. The street was empty. No cars, no people, no squirrels. Wait. The street wasn't empty. A tall figure stood on the sidewalk right in front of my house. The light from my window barely illuminated his form, but I could still make it out. He picked up my red plastic bin. And there was no garbage truck or wheelbarrow or anything else around to dump it in. Where's he going to dump it? I thought. Is he just going to carry the bins one by one to the compost? That's really inefficient. He hoisted the bin up over his head, his mouth stretched open, far wider than I've ever seen any mouth open. Then he poured the contents in his mouth. A light crackling sound emerged from the darkness as he chewed up the bones. I stared horrified, and Buff did too. And then she began to bark. The thing froze. Shh, I said, patting Buff's head. Please be quiet. But of course she barked again. He snapped around and ran towards the window at full speed. A flash of a gray, wrinkled face, hollow black pits for eyes, a gaping mouth with somehow no teeth or tongue. I let the curtain fall. I backed away, hugging my buff, my heart pounding in my chest. And that's when the knocking started. And then I remembered perhaps the most important rule of them all. Never answer the door if you aren't expecting anyone. And there we have yet another gem from BlairDaniels. I really like this one. It's got,